Legendary monsters are officially dead. Hey everyone, it's Orca Gaming. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. So as you all know, we're in a whole new era. We're in the Cosmic era, and no longer are there PvP seasons. Now there's Cosmic tournaments, and we are currently in Cosmic Tournament number 1. And with that being said, I want to showcase the top monsters for Season 1 or Tournament 1. And this is just the mid data information. So once again, we're going to be going to Monster Legends competitive fandom. There's going to be a link in the description if you want to follow along. Alright, and let me just warn you, what I am about to show you is going to surprise you so much. Alright, so here we have PvP Cosmic Tournament 1 usage data mid-season edition. This was posted on July 31st, 2020. As you can see, there are 7 days left in the tournament, so we will see what monsters are currently used the most. And already there's a sneak peek on who's the number 1 used monster, Vanoss 2099. My goodness. But just really quickly, the way this works, the way all this information is calculated, basically they go through PvP, they go through the top 100 players, because you can actually see the accounts of the top 100 players, and they basically see what monster used for offense and for defense. So A means attack, D means defense, T is in total, right? If a monster is in offense, there's an A on it. If it's on defense, there's a D. So the heavies, these are monsters that saw more than 40 players using them, alright? So the number 1 monster that's being used is actually Vanoss 2099. Can you believe this? It used to be Nor, right? Nor was the go-to defense monster, and now it's this paywall cosmic mythic with Pierce. I don't even like this monster, and he's number 1. 19 times he's used in offense, most of the time he's used in defense, and so in total he has 77 in usage. So the top 100 players, essentially 77 are using them, since you can only have one copy of a cosmic. So how do I feel about this? I feel like it's just an adjustment phase. I feel like obviously the top 100 players tend to be the spenders, and so they probably, a lot of them bought Vanoss, and if they got him at least rank 3. They probably invested to rank him up, and they're like, hey, I have this 150, say 140, 130 cosmic that has Pierce and can kill legendaries. Let me put him on defense. So those players that rely on Wormlad and Grakon to win, well, this Vanoss is going in and just with his Pierce OTKing, and yes, it can revive and everything, but it does become harder to win. So this is officially the most popular monster, and technically the meta, right? The meta is dictated by what monster you use the most, and it is Vanoss 2099. So there we have him with 77 usage. And then we have my personal favorites. Yeah, this is honestly my favorite non-cosmic, so my favorite regular mythic. 33 for offense, 16 on defense, so in total 49. As you can see, offense. So this is the go-to. In my personal opinion, this is probably the best mythic out there. Not talking cosmics, just the best mythic. I would gladly take on Dana. I'm working on getting her to rank 5, and I'm going to give her level 10 runes. She is, the skill set compared to the other mythics is on a whole different level. Can stamina drain, can equip 2 relics that stamina drain, can trade disable, so much stamina control, phenomenal monster. The trade itself gives your whole team stamina, doubles the max stamina. Incredible, phenomenal monster. I can definitely see this monster being used in offense, especially because Daedalus is such a commonly used monster on defense. So this monster can deal with the Megatons and then stamina drain everyone. Phenomenal monster, like I said. You can even trade disable if you need to trade disable a taunt monster. Phenomenal monster. You can remove positive effects from the whole enemy team. If there's a monster that has positive effect, let's say, who can we pick on? Let's say there's a monster that has positive effect, whatever, Mr. Beast, put positive effect protection and has his Megatons. This monster can first remove the positive effect once, and then has the AoE positive effect removal. So on Dana is phenomenal. We have Lonrad, and of course, mostly used on defense. I see this monster all the time on defense, so annoying. I actually see Lonrad and Vanoss a lot. It wouldn't surprise me if the players that have Vanoss at 150 also have Lonrad at 150. It's just the revival mythic, right? Way better than Miseris for reviving. Can give himself dodge area, has a cleansing skill, any like just a phenomenal support monster. Can hold revival us so he can come back to life if he dies. Alright, Daedalus, of course Daedalus makes it. Anytime there's a Megaton monster makes it. And look, there's like a nice little split between attack and defense, because you put this monster on defense because it works so good with like a Vanoss, so Vanoss doesn't get OTK'd, and then Lonrad so you can revive. But also works for offense because you use this monster as a meat shield, absorb the attack, The enemy's going first, at least they have to attack Daedalus, then you go and deny. So, of course, that makes sense to me. And so now we have these 4 monsters as the heavies, right? The heavies. More than 40 players using these monsters. There was a time when it was Nor, Wormlad, and Grakon, and no longer is that the case. So yeah, what's interesting, you'll notice that the heavy is mostly dictated by defense, whereas it used to be offense-based, right? So 58 Vanoss, then 41 and 25, and then primarily defense, and Ondana leans more to offense. So from the perspective of bringing an attacker, Ondana is the monster that most of the players tend to bring. From the perspective of what you'll see on defense in the top 500, it's typically the Vanoss, Lonrad, and Daedalus. So that's just an interesting little thing there. Moving on to the toughies, these are monsters that saw 20 to 39 players using them. Of course, we have Urder. This is, in my opinion, the best tank. Yeah, I'm sorry, Armor Claw, but if you were just talking purely tanking capabilities, Urder just takes it. The status caster is better. The skill set is better for tanking capabilities. So we have Urder with 16 and 15. And then we have Siamis. So, Siamis, 23 for offense, 5 on defense, and 28 in total. So, I can definitely see this monster, why it's 23 on offense. A lot of players got this from the team race. A lot of players have access to a rank 3, rank 4, rank 5 Siamis. Actually, this is another monster that I actually prioritized and got to rank 5. So, yeah, it looks like I picked the right ones, because Ondana and Siamis, that's what I've been telling players. Like, those are my go-tos for rank 5. Especially now that we're in a Cosmic era. So, I mean, yeah, it's just, her skill set is also pretty great. She has a cooldown activation team. She has a single cooldown activation Mega Possession. She can remove positive effects. So, fantastic monster there. We have Brutalizer, and I feel like we're pretty much going to see a lot of tanks. Urder, Brutalizer, 8 on attack, 18 on defense. So, oh, that's a little surprising that Brutalizer is actually used more on defense than Urder. I have to wonder if it's just because being like that pig wall monster that players got exclusively and probably invested in him more. Maybe that's why. Oh, there we have our legendary Wormlad. He is still in the top. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He is number 8. Used a total of 24 times. Now, of course, he is a legendary, so he can be used in offense and defense. So mostly used for offense, right? I mean, you partner him up with a top monster, he can still, if you're not fighting Vanoss, he can still survive, you can revive, you can restore the dream, you can despicable, so I still use mine, so he's awesome. Moonhaze, the community monster, 14-7, so mostly used for offense. Great monster, really great skill set. Right now I've been going through all of the mythics, and really great skill set, Moonhaze. He can Mega Stun, he can Possess, he can also... Well, he can do a lot. He can also hold a revival, so if he dies, he comes back to life. You also typically notice if a monster can hold a revival, they also have like pretty good high rankings just because they can come back if they have a good skill set. And speaking of a revival, we have another legendary, Grakon, 15 offense. So same as Wormlad for offense, and you slightly less on defense. So still up there though, and Centurion as well, since we're on the legendaries, mostly used for defense. So I guess if the players that don't have Daedalus, the 25 players that don't have Daedalus, they're probably using Centurion as a Megaton. And probably Miseris for like Resurrection and Lonrad for Resurrection. So yeah, I mean, we have our top 3 legendaries, right? It is Wormlad, it is Grakon, it is Centurion. And I feel like Madam Fusion is probably going to be somewhere down there for offense primarily. So let's see, Centurion, Grakon, yeah, I mean, I can honestly say, I feel that by the end of Cosmic Tournament Season 2, these guys, Grakon and Wormlad, they're going to be even lower. They're done, essentially. I really don't see them being in the toughies category. I honestly think by the end of the season, because remember, this is just the mid-season edition. By the end of Cosmic Tournament 1, these are going to go down. Sorry, Wormlad and Grakon, you guys aren't going to make it. Centurion, you too. Moving on to the mids, 10 to 19 players are using these monsters. Miseris, Nor dropped so much. Attack 10, wow. Defense 7, wow, that's crazy. I honestly have to think it is because maybe when Hardy was released, is Hardy here? Yeah, maybe when Hardy was released, people were like, oh, they're going to have a counter, so let me swap out Nor. That could be the thing. Honestly, I feel like I would keep Nor on defense, give her 2 extra turn skills, give her Sock Tongue, give her Endless Endurance. That way she has a counter for cooldown activation and for anticipation. I'm actually really surprised. But yeah, we have Team Race monsters down here. Miseris, I was never really a big fan of Miseris. I only ever used him since he could resurrect. But even now I'm using him on defense. But if I had Lonrad, I would replace Miseris. So I definitely see Miseris going down. He was never that great of a monster. Norm, I am really surprised. I feel like I feel like if people don't see Hardy as being that scary, and especially if we don't see Hardy on defense, 8 on defense right now, I can see Nor being used more for offensive purposes. So we'll see how that develops. Froma's almost like on Dana. They can hold similar relics. Well, they do hold the exact same relics, so you can do stamina drain. They have positive effect removal. Froma can even do double positive effect removal as well. Can also trade disable, so very similar monsters. But I mean, Ondana just takes it with the maximum stamina increased or doubled and everything. So Froma is down here. Not to mention, Ondana was a Legends Pass monster, so a lot more players have access. Ignis, I'm surprised. I have to wonder if it's just actually, how is Ignis here already? 8, 7, 15. Literally, the race ended like 1 or 2 days ago, and players already. Again, it's the top players from the top teams that have the monsters, so maybe they just plopped it into the team to see how it would do. So maybe this will change. I actually don't imagine Ignis being that high up there. He's not really that great of a monster. He's a support monster, so I don't see him being used on defense. I just really don't. I'd rather have a monster that can resurrect, a monster that can attack, a monster that can deny. Support on defense doesn't really work out unless it is like, again, Lonrad, who can revive and support. So Ignis, I don't see him used on defense. For offense, I think you don't need him as well. So I don't see him being used that much. I don't see Hardy being used that much, again, especially if Nor's not even used that much. Hardy's not going to be up there. Tremor, I actually like Tremor a lot. He is our mythic Grakon. Obviously, nowhere near the same skill set, but he's our mythic Grakon. 4, 6, and 10. He has a cooldown activation, extra turn skill, a mega stun skill. He has a cooldown. He has an AoE stun skill. So I like Tremor. He's immune to torture, but he's definitely going to get lower and lower usage as time develops. All right, the hidden gems players. 2 to 9 players were using these. So 7 players are using Armor Claw for offense, 1 on defense. So in total, there's 9. Man, I got to get up there and give him an extra point. I got to move Armor Claw into the mids. All right, we have Izel. Again, Megataunt is always going to be popular. 7 on defense, so on offense, he's not even used anymore. Honestly, I think Izel's going to die. And with the addition of Thunderkong, even if you have like a level 100 Thunderkong, you could probably kill a 130 Izel easily. So I don't see him being used much by the end of the season. Maybe like once, if anything. Blas, the Paywall support mythic. I like him too, but I think compared to what the other monsters have to offer, that's why he doesn't get so much usage. Ragnarök is still in there. That's cool. 5 for offense, 2 for defense. And yeah, Ragnarök is definitely better used for offense, I would say, than for defense. Although the random status caster, yeah, but see, with Vanoss dominating right now, that's probably why. Nightingale, 4 for attack, 3, so the extra turners. Madam Fusion, yeah, 6C, only attack. Terrible defense monster, but amazing attack monster. Mr. Beast, 3 and 3. Arumel, 4 and 2. Look, the OG mythics. Nice, 6 and 6, 3 and 3, 4 and 2. Ra, another extra turner. Krusty, another extra turner. Wow, only Nor's up there, and it has to be because it's a team race one, so players have it ranked up. Nazael, that's interesting, probably because of the revival lessons and anticipation. Glamhead is there. Pumpseed, Moochie, Thalassa. Oh, Thalassa, you're still trying to stay relevant. Hornet, I think Hornet is going to die. We're not going to see him by the end of the season. If anything, like one player. We have Glub, we have Zorky. I'm actually surprised. For offense, maybe players are doing like Daedalus, Zorky, and then a strong AoE skill with triple damage. Heist, so Heist is the new monster. I don't see Heist being used much. I don't think he's that great. Nikasha can block Resurrection, and then we have Corruptus. Dodge Area, Forsaken, cannot hold revivals. If he can hold revival, I feel like he'd be used as much as Grakon or even more. So that moves us to the stragglers. Let's see, 1 player using them. Tiny, I'm really surprised. I don't see what relevance Tiny has. Thunder Kong, this monster just got released. I imagine his usage being increased a little more, even if he's not that strong. Elvira, great to use on offense. Barbell, I don't know, damage increase maybe? Unspeakable, this taunt monster gets no love. Wow, that's sad. Only 1 player uses him. Kothor surprised me because he is a team race monster. He's immune to 2 deny skills. I think it's Abomination and Freeze. So yeah, you can't freeze him, you can't possess him. And he's strong. He has 0 cooldown skill, so even CDA doesn't hurt him. And you'd have an elemental advantage against fire monsters. But I guess there's not that many relevant fire monsters, huh? Yeah, maybe if there's a relevant fire, then he'd be used a little more. But yeah, poor Kothor. He's a team race monster that isn't used as much. Let's see, who else do we have? Josh Stubb, an attacker. Van Decken, the fire possessor. He is actually, did you guys know Van Decken is the only, him and Aztet are the only AoE possession mythic monsters? Kind of crazy, huh? So with that being said, guys, that is kind of a recap on the top monsters in Monster Legends. And unfortunately, as of right now, it's Vanoss, but I really don't see this staying. I really feel that by the end of season 2, or maybe we'll see by the end of the season, Vanoss is not a good monster. Honestly, like, I'd rather take these 3 over a Vanoss any day of the week. So, yeah, guys, what do you guys think about it? I'm super curious to hear what you guys think about this. Keep in mind, it is just the mid-season, so we don't know how everything will end up. But I really feel like it's an adjusting phase. But at the same time, it does feel like legendary monsters are officially dead, or they will slowly die out. So we'll see how that develops. But yeah, I wanted to get this video out there. Huge shout out to the Monster Legends competitive fandom team for putting this together. This is always really great to see how the top 100 players are using the monsters. So that being said, guys, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and remember to subscribe.